Abrams Boxing PR, and like I said, we're gonna have a great weekend here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Tonight's the kickoff gala. All the inductees, a lot of other fighters and fight people are meandering their way in. So we're gonna go over the list. Like we mentioned before, Bernard Hopkins is, I guess, the main event, one of the key speakers, the key inductees here this weekend at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And we have some other fighters and whatnot coming through. So we're going to get everyone on. So as you know, looks like it's going to be a packed week. And I told other fighters, the president Ray McCline, he's told me that they like a sold out crowd for this weekend. So we'll see who's here. We're going to run in and get a few guests, and we'll be back in just a minute.
One of the best things I ever did.
We are back here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and Mark Abrams here with one of our inductees is Henry Haskup, who the president of the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame. Henry, first of all, congratulations on getting in. Here, come on in, come closer. So, what are your thoughts? First of all, congratulations on this honor. Talk about this honor.
Well, it's outstanding honor. I was shocked when I got the phone call from Ray. I guess I got it in October, November, that I was going into this Hall of Fame, and then told me all the other guys that are going in, and I said, "Oh my God, that's truly an honor." I mean, it's the third annual induction ceremonies, and to be included in this group is it's just a great honor.
Obviously, you know a lot about Hall of Fames. You've run the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fames, and you've been the MC the last couple of years. What what have you seen that maybe compares to your shindig? I mean, talk about the synergy between the two.
Yeah, this Hall of Fame here. I mean, it's down in Atlantic City. It's like 3 or 4 days, and the exhibition they have over here, the exhibits, is just outstanding. Guy carves a tree, and then he makes that into Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather and McGregor and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, just to come down and see that, it's worth the price of admission. And actually, it's free. You can come down tomorrow and see it. And there's a lot of other stuff out there, pictures and posters, and all the fighters are down here.
Talk about like your I guess how you got into boxing and, how the Hall of Fame came about. And talk about the history of Henry Haskup.
Well, I was in foster homes when I was a kid, and when I came out, my real father was very interested in two sports, baseball and boxing. And we got our first TV, I guess I was about 10 years old, and he told me, oh, this guy's the greatest fighters of all time, and you're going to see him on TV. Just got the TV, and it was Archie Moore. And, we watched it, and Archie Moore was floored 3 times in the first round. I said to my father, I said, he's supposed to be a great fighter. He said, oh, the fight's not over yet. Of course, that was the Von Durrell fight, and, it was one of the greatest fights in history. That just hooked me. Of course, I didn't see another fight like that for maybe 30 years. But, I just got involved in it so much there, and, I became a student of the game. Get all the magazines, all the record books, and, I just went through it, and constantly went through it. And then when I joined Ring 9 in Bergen County in Bergen and Passaic County.
And explain to people, there are these groups all over the country, I know, on the East Coast.
Well, there's Ring 1, it's in Philly. Ring 4 is in Boston. Ring 8 is in New York. Ring 10 is in New York. Ring 25 is in New Jersey. Got 44. And there are veteran boxing organizations throughout the whole country. Former fighters and now fans get together. And, they reminisce, and it's more of like a greeting to each one.
Yeah, but we're on the internet. You sit around and you bullshit about the game.
Yeah. I mean, you meet some of these great athletes, and like when I first started, I used to read about these guys, and I used to go to the libraries and go through microfilm and write down every fight I could find. And then about a year or so later, I'd be going to these dinners, and I'm saying, oh my God, this guy's like 85 years old, and I'm thinking he's like 22. Because, it was like back in 1922 he was fighting, and here he is 80-some years old, and he's sitting right next to me, and I said, wow, it's kind of blown me away, and it made him feel so happy, that guy, and his son was there with his grandson, and they were blown away how much I knew about him, and I gave him the record that I had. It was all handwritten at the time, and I said, geez, I guess I was a little selfish because I felt so good doing that for him. I said, man, this is what I want to do.
So, getting involved with these groups, and then I guess the idea hatched in your mind about the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame. Is that how that happened?
Well, the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame was actually founded in 1968 by Adrian Bailey. I took over in 86. So, it was, So, I've been president for it's the 34th year. And, it's coming on its 50th anniversary this coming November.
And so you've run those there, and you've honored everybody. I mean, pretty much everyone of substance who's ever has fought New Jersey, Atlantic City. So they've come through your state, come through our state. I'm a Jersey guy, live in Philly now, but I'm a Jersey guy. So, I mean, you've had all the big names, Tyson and whatnot, have come up. So you talk about that when you get these, obviously the New Jersey guys like Gotti and stuff like that. But when you have the mega rock star like a Tyson or De La Hoya, guys that you've honored in the past.
Well, Tyson came down, and at first they said he couldn't make it because he had a show out in the West, and but the last minute he did, and it just blew people's minds, because they didn't even know he was up there, and I introduced him coming down the stairs. And he was great. He sat next to me all night long, take every picture with everybody, signed every autograph. And I told him, I said, I have my amateur champions here. He says, they would love to take a picture. They all came. He said, bring them down. They all took a picture on stage, and the flash cameras were all over the place, and the kids just overwhelmed. And De La Hoya, he came down as a guest because Mark Tappet was being honored. And he came down. Yeah, he came down as a guest, and he did the same thing. I mean, he was one of the first ones there and one of the last ones to leave, signed every autograph, took all pictures. He was tremendous. I mean, a lot of these guys get a bad reputation, but I tell you, once you get to know them and everything, I think they give back as much as they got.
And you see that on a weekend like this where these guys, I mean, your thing's one night, it's a glorious night that you guys have. This is a whole weekend worth of stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is above board, wish we could do that back, where we are, but, they're just beginning, And, they can get the big names like the Tyson and the Holyfields and the Durans and guys like that. I mean, it's just the Hopkins, they're going to bring the crowds in. And like I said, the reception today and tomorrow is that exhibits all over the place. I mean, then you have the fanfare, then you have the induction ceremonies. It's just almost like an international boxing Hall of Fame.
You talked about you being a fan or whatever, and since you got the call, I guess, for the last 5-6 months or whatever, since you've known about it, you ever say to yourself, you're sitting at home, maybe having a scotch by yourself, saying, I'm going to the Hall of Fame with Roberto Duran.
Yeah, I know.
Is that like kind of hit you a little bit?
Yes. Well, I have a funny story to tell you. I got the call, I guess, late in October. And to tell you the truth, every time I run my boxing Hall of Fame, New Jersey boxing, I always have nightmares about something that goes wrong.
Yeah,
Something's going to go wrong. And this time I was dreaming. And I was dreaming about the Atlantic City Hall of Fame. And I'm in the audience, and I'm sitting next to, like, Bernard Hopkins is right there. And I'm looking, and Hamad is actually the MC, and he's for our next inductee. And all of a sudden the phone rings. It wakes me up. It was 7:30 in the morning. So, hello? Oh, this is Ray McCline. I just want to let you know.
He called you that early?
Yeah.
Wait till I get in here.
You're going into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I said, what? And so I hung up, and I went back to sleep, and I woke up, and I thought the whole thing was a dream. I had to actually contact him, saying, wait a minute, did you just call me? He says, yeah. I said, what did you say? And sure enough, he told me I was going into the Hall of Fame, and I asked him, by the way, is Bernard Hopkins going in? He says, yeah, how'd you know? He was in my dream. He was in my dream.
That's bizarre. Well, if you have a dream tonight about the fifth at Aqueduct, let me know. So,
I wish I would.
So, anything specifically? I guess Sundays probably you're looking forward to getting the plaque. You've given the plaques out here the last couple of years. And now,
I've made. Well, the first year I think I made 22 presentations. This year, last year I made 25.
Is Ray making you work on Sunday?
Yeah, I got 2 to make out.
Oh, really? He's actually you're actually gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Actually, the honoree called me up, Bobby Goodman and Tom Kazmarek.
Okay, these are old school guys. Too.
Yeah, then I'm doing a fanfare with the history of Atlantic City, and I'm more nervous about being inducted because I like to give awards out. I like to make people happy, and then all of a sudden now, I'm a little embarrassed by it. But I do want to give you a shout out too. I mean, you do a great job.
I try.
I heard you on the radio, whatever you want to call it. You do great interviews.
Thank you.
You got a boxing mind.
Oh yeah, well, you got guys like you to interview. My job's easy.
You make us easy. You make us.
It's easy. Well, anything you want to say out there to the people watching?
No, I just if you're in the area, you come on down, especially tomorrow. Tomorrow is the exhibit, and it's free. You walk in, and you can see things you've never seen before, and it's like 4 hours of nonstop boxing exhibits, and you meet a lot of great fighters too.
Hey, you may be looking at a painting, and Bernard may bump into you.
Yeah,
you never know.
Of course. Last year, Holyfield came right in and made a 20-minute speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim,
Actually, Tim, don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Don't go nowhere.
Witherspoon.
We're going to bring Tim Witherspoon. No, not yet, not yet.
Champion of the world.
Timmy, sit down for a second. We're going to do a quick interview. Well, Henry, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Up in here, right?
Yeah, you just
Okay, you're looking good.
you got Tim Witherspoon here. Timmy, sit down.
Okay.
Do a little. Here is the former two-time heavyweight. Two-time heavyweight.
The third man to ever regain. Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, then Big Tim.
So, Tim, congrats, we're here. You're getting into the Hall of Fame, say Boxing Hall of Fame. Talk about it. What are your thoughts about being honored? You haven't been in the ring for a while. People still recognize you.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating adore about being in the Hall of Fame, the Atlantic City Hall of Fame. But my thing about the whole boxing industry and things is that I would love to get an award. I really appreciate it. But there's a lot of things that has to be done to boxing. We have to bring democracy into boxing. because there's a lot of former boxers that's don't have jobs, they don't have money, there's no structure when you leave the sport. So we need a union. We definitely need a union. Every sport in boxing, every sport in the world has a union or has support when you leave. And so I really do appreciate getting an award, but my main focus is on helping boxers. Melzer Teller just went to jail. Bert Cooper died broke. Rocky Lockridge, he passed away broke. There's a lot of boxers out there that need help. So my main thing is I love getting an award, but I think there's a lot of things that we need to grab a hold to and really try to help the boxers. So you could talk about, I don't care about being like champ. I do care about being champ of the world, and I love that and I appreciate it. But that sport helped me be who I am, and I think that me helping out and trying to get that started. And other people is what we really need to do.
We got people out here watching, so they, the word will get out. Can we talk about your career for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your career. Getting this award, it's a culmination of a lot of hard work, a lot of years, a lot of accolades. I mean, when you get it, you've gotten, accolades probably since you've retired, but when you get it, you're going into a Hall of Fame, and especially one locally. You're a Philadelphia guy.
Yes.
What's that mean to you?
Oh, it means a whole lot. Philadelphia is a great city, a lot of history. The Liberty Bell's there, the Declaration of Independence, all these things. And I was born not too far from all that. I was born with the Mummers parades, the Irish, the Italian was on one side, the Irish was on the other. We worked for Jewish people when we were little. So there's a lot of history in that city, and I feel really proud. There's a lot of champions came from that. So why wouldn't I be proud to be from the city of Philadelphia? There's a lot of history there, and that's one of the things that helped me fight as hard as I did.
And we're here in Atlantic City. Have any memories of your fights in here down the shore?
Oh man, it happened so fast. The fights happen so fast. I really can't. I couldn't digest it. And before everything's over, I couldn't really enjoy it. It happened so fast. And if I would have had a mentor or somebody there that just tell me to slow down and just think about things, and learning was fast, everything was fast. They put me in the ring fast. I don't think that was everybody else's situation too. I couldn't really enjoy it, and now that I'm looking back, I'm saying, wow. Looking at all the things that I could accomplish if I would have trained a little harder, and things like that. So, and I think that's what the world is about too. Everybody in every different atmosphere, sports, whatever job they have, they do it, but I know they could have did it better after it's done. So that's the way I feel about it now.
What takes the night you won the first time you won the world championship?
That was with Greg Page. Yeah, Greg Page.
Talk about that, because that's the night where all the hard work pays off. They give you that belt. That's where talk about that. When you won that fight.
Yeah, well, I sparred with Greg Page before we fought. I had sparred with him at Don King's camp. Don had all the heavyweights and all the every boxers boxing each other. So I was pretty much familiar with Greg Page style. But so it was a matter of heart. It was a matter of heart. Who wanted to win that title. I wanted to win it more than him. I think he wanted to win it too, because he was supposed to be the guy that was replaced at Muhammad Ali. They were saying he's the next Muhammad Ali. I knew that. I sparred with Ali in 1983. Well, no, it was 80, I think. It was 80 or something like 80. that. So I just wanted to win that title, and I know he wanted it. I wanted it more than him.
Before we'll take a couple steps back.
Okay.
The Larry Holmes fight.
Oh yeah.
You ever still come into your mind every once in a while? Say they may have robbed me that night.
No, they did. I think they did. Nobody knew who I was.
Yeah, I mean, you only had, what, about 15, 16
14,
fights? 14 fights?
Yeah. And nobody knew who I was. But people did hear about me. And, you know, like I said, I came from a great city. Everybody was behind me. The gang members, the sportsmen, the mothers, the fathers, the whites, the blacks, the Hispanics, everybody would support me, you know. And I just, I wanted to be the heavyweight champion that came from Philly, that was born there. I love Joe Frazier, I love Muhammad Ali, but I was actually born right in the heart of Philadelphia, right in South Philly. We had the Irish in the back, we had the Italian in the front, okay? And we had the Jewish in my neighborhood, and they hired all the blacks, the young blacks. I worked for Al's Delicatessen, he was a Jewish guy. My buddy worked for a shoe store, he was a Jewish guy. Then I worked for Max. I worked for Max's. So they had a lot of us guys working for us, and it's other things, man. I'm just proud to be from Philly, you know, because there's just so much contents in the city. And to be the heavyweight champ of the world from Philadelphia was a great thing for me.
Last questions I'll ask you.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time in England now. So you've known about Anthony Joshua and
Yeah, I
everything
knew
going
about
on.
him, yeah.
What do you make of everything that's going on, the loss? And, you know, you're a guy, like you said, you spent a lot of time over there.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's your take on him and what's your take on the heavyweight division? Obviously, there was the three big horses. Now there's four with Ruiz. You got Ruiz, Joshua, Wilder, and Fury. What are your quick thoughts?
Well, I think there's a lot of inexperienced opinions going on over there. There's everybody is talking about the wrong thing about Anthony Joshua. I actually rode on a train with him. He helped me with my daughter that's from England. He helped me onto the pram. What they call them, trams.
Yeah, tram.
And he helped me. He helped me on there. We talked. I was at events with him, and to me, a lot of these boxers they need skills. You know, they need a little bit more skills. Anthony Joshua needs 3 or 4 more things to make him complete. And the people that surround him, I think, they mean well, but a lot of them are not experienced. I went into Wembley Stadium with a trainer that was a dynamite trainer, Slim Jim Robinson. Everybody respected him. And he was behind me 100%. I went in there with 65,000 people screaming and shouting and throwing their kids and throwing bottles at me and stuff. And we came up and knocked out Frank Bruno. So I think Anthony Joshua, I even contacted him on the phone and offered my services to him. And his reply back was that, no, Tim, I'm okay. I got my team. And that was it. But I tried hard because I like him. And I would like to help him, but the team that's surrounding him, I think, you know, he's listening to him, which he should, but they're not experienced in big fights. McCracken, his trainer, is a really brilliant person. If I was in a situation and I needed help, I would ask for it. So it's selfish. I'm not saying he's selfish. He's a good guy, but to ask for help, you got $100 million. Boxer.
More than that.
More than that. Yeah, I would ask for help, and I think this is one of his problems. Everybody around him is talking, but nobody's making sense.
And last question, Al, the 4, Ruiz, Joshua, Fury, Wilder, who's your number 1 guy?
You know, at first I was picking Fury because he moves a lot. He confuses people with his style and everything. All of them chins are suspected. You know,
Yeah.
Joshua, Wilder, Fury, Ruiz take a pretty good punch, even though he went down.
Yeah, he got you. That was a good punch.
Yeah, he got yeah. So you know, I'm not saying you know, it's hard to predict because of the skill levels. You know, Wilder, if you take away his right hand, he's getting beat. Joshua, all you gotta do is just pressure and catch him, and he'll go down. Yeah, Tyson Fury, all you have to do with Tyson Fury, campeón, Un momento, por favor.
There's Roberto Duran.
Yeah, Roberto. Tyson Fury. All you have to do with Tyson Fury is he moves a lot, you hit his body. You can't hit his head because it's a small object, and you can control him by hitting him to the body. And I know all the medicine. I know the medicine these guys need. I know what you need to do to beat each and every one of them, but they're not having none of us old-timers, retired guys in the game. And that's what's wrong with boxing today. We're not taking care of the former boxers. We need help. Who went? Rocky Lock was passed away broke. Bert Cooper passed away broke. Meldrick Taylor's in jail because they locked him up. They want to take him out of his house. So we need help. We need help for former boxers. We need a union. We're the only sport that doesn't have a union and support. And I think that's very important, more than what everybody's talking about.
Well, Timmy, thank you for a few minutes of
Okay.
your time. I know you want to get in there.
Okay, I'm trying to find my
First they call you champ, and now they call you Hall of Famer. How's that sound?
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Congratulations and enjoy
Thank
the
you.
weekend.
Thank you very much.
Terrible Tim Witherspoon, the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, joining us. We'll be back. We're going to round up a couple more guests. So Roberto Duran, maybe we can sneak him on here for a couple words, and then we will be back very shortly. Thank you.
What's up, champ? Yeah, you need to get out there and you can get him and Aaron. We train together. We all train together. Huh? Oh, Ray.
We are back here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Mark Ames just had two terrific interviews with the likes of terrible Tim Witherspoon, as well as the great Henry Haskup, who's the president of the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame and is now a member of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. We're going to get some good guests on it. Roberto Duran is in there, as well as Michael Spinks, a few others. We're going to sure to get on in the next couple hours. Didn't finish going over all of the dignitaries that were going to be here. Mark Ames, you said. So we are here again in Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Bernard Hopkins will be coming here soon. Tim Witherspoon. Iran Barkley is in the house. I saw Iran walk in. Micky Ward, we're still waiting his appearance. He hasn't been there. Kevin Watts, John Brown. Virgil Hill, I believe, won't be here until maybe Saturday or Sunday. So we will get him on at some point during the weekend. And we have a lot of great things. Go over some of the other dignitaries that will be here this weekend. Jimmy Bin Sr., the boxing attorney, he's also an actor. We've seen him in all the Rocky films, as of course he plays a lawyer. The Rocky movies during the week. And we'll be again. We're just looking for some of these guys. A late arriving crowd here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. See my man Nick Tiberi watching us. Hey Nick, how you doing? One of the great matchmakers of boxing. He's been around a long time. Some questions from Humberto Perez, who's talking about terrible Tim Witherspoon. Says, Big Champ is life in boxing. Well, terrible Tim Witherspoon, the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Also in attendance this weekend, we just saw great manager Stan Hoffman come in the building. We'll get Stan, a longtime manager of world champions. Nigel Collins, the former editor of Ring Magazine, will be here. Henry Hascup, who we just saw. Tommy Kazmarek, judge, longtime judge, has done a lot of fights down here in Atlantic City. Bobby Goodman, longtime boxing executive. Tony Orlando Jr., former referee, and Rhonda Utley Herring from the New Jersey Boxing Commission as well will be inducted this weekend. Say hello to my man Matthew Rowland watching here tonight. Matt, you have any questions for us here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame? Matt Rowland of Banner Promotions, who next week will throw their middleweight champion, Brandon Adams, in an attempt to win a piece of the middleweight championship of the world as he takes on Jamal Charlo live on Showtime from Houston. Come on, Matt, ask me a question. Matt's very talkative in our office, but anytime he gets on social media, he clams up. So I need some type of question from you, Matt, to see what you're thinking tonight. So we will be getting questions from everyone out in social media world. As we're just checking out. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. So we're just trying to see what's going on here in Atlantic City. And we'll be back here we go. Matt Rowland goes the LO. Come on, ask me a question. Give me a question, Matt, and maybe we can answer it for you. So we'll have a slew of guests on. We'll be back in just a couple minutes while we try to round up a couple guests here to get on the podcast. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. You can be on the show anytime you want, Matthew Rowan. As I finally got someone to round up some guests for me, I think Al Cole, we saw Osnell Charles. What do I think about the heavyweight division right now? I think the heavyweight division is in a great shape. Obviously, we had the big win by Andy Ruiz a couple weeks ago over Anthony Joshua. Then we had Tyson Fury with the big win last week, and Deontay Wilder about a month or so ago. He took care of Dominic Brazil in a round. The heavyweight division's good. There's some good contenders. Kubra Pulev will probably fight for the world title at some point. There's some other guys in the mix. So the thing is, we just got to get those 4 guys to get together and fight, have some kind of round-robin tournament. Who do I think is the best heavyweight boxer, Osnell? It's a good question. Depends what week it is. I mean, Wilder looks great some weeks. Then Andy Ruiz, got to throw him in the mix right now. And then maybe Tyson Fury. Right now, the only one who's eliminated right now is Anthony Joshua because of not only him losing, but the way he lost. He got knocked down 4 times in the fight and got drilled out of there. So Anthony Joshua, John Molina Jr. joined us. As a big fight coming up on July 20th. John Molina, just a terrific action fighter. Always love watching him fights. And he'll be in the ring on July 20th, taking on your Dennis Ugas as far as the Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman pay-per-view. John, this is, you're going to be in some Hall of Fame someday. So, John Molina Jr. is a guy who always brings. Is that Al Cole over there? Al Cole, you want to join us for a couple minutes, a couple questions? Come around and join us. We've got the former world champion Al Cole in the house. We'll only keep him a few minutes. Al, so what's happening, Al? You're at Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. You're here almost every year to join the festivities. How's everything going?
Yes, I'm just coming back to see some of my old fellas, see B-Hop and everything, and see some of my friends we turned out with. Just come and enjoy the festivities.
A weekend like this, like you said, you get to see some of the guys that fought on your card, some of the guys you may have fought against. What's it like seeing them all these years later?
Wow, just went out to eat lunch with Tim Witherspoon. Was a good
Tim was just here, so yeah.
So it's just
who paid? No comment.
No, I paid. But it was the point that I wanted to invite him and enjoy the whole situation.
Mm-hmm. A weekend like this, you see the greats. I mean, obviously, you're also, besides being a former world champion, you're a fan of the sport. You see some of the guys all in one room. You see all that talent. What goes through your mind when you see all this? Because I know talent really recognizes talent.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Talent recognizes talent, and we just respect each other. Even if we fought or didn't like each other at one time, now it's all different. We all enjoying the festivities and looking forward to seeing everybody. And happy for everybody.
Who obviously you hung out with Tim and Bernard. Anyone else you're looking forward to seeing this weekend?
But me and Ray is always together, Ray Mercer, so we always together. But then they had some other fights the other day. Golden Boy had some fights, so we get to watch some fights, and so it's looking fun to enjoy the whole weekend.
It's a whole weekend. It's great. You got the fights. You got the VIP gala, you got the the inductions, and tomorrow there's autograph signs. So
right.
This is kind of like if you're a boxing fan or in the sport or whatever.
This is the time.
This is the weekend. I mean, and obviously they got the big Hall of Fame up in Canastota, New York,
right.
And sometimes certain people for whatever reason can't get to a weekend like that.
Exactly.
And especially in this area.
Different time, different places. Everybody know Atlantic City, the Mecca.
You fought in Atlantic City a ton of times.
Extremely.
Give me one or two memories about fighting in Atlantic City for you.
First time, like when I first was fighting now, Trump. The Taj Mahal, man, he's the president,
There's a lot of, remember he fought all the big fights here at one point.
Yes, he's fought. And actually, I hung out with him before, and I don't know how people feel about that. But it's just the thing, like, hanging out with him is like, I thought he was just, a businessman about it, but no, he's a really avid fan of boxing.
Yeah, wonder if he's getting pay-per-view in the White House for the big fight. Anything else? What are you doing now? Tell the fans out there.
Well, now Praise God. I'm doing pretty well now. I have a own business in Virginia, a Medicaid transportation business,
good.
and did some right things with money.
And you still train guys once in a while. You
Yeah.
dabble in a little bit. I see you around a lot of fights with Marshall, Colton Travis, and those guys.
I'm very particular because a lot of these guys don't really, they've been taught, so even pro guys, been taught, they got such bad habits, they got away with doing it wrong so far, and they think it's easy that way, but when you get to the top level, when you get to 1, 2, and 3, it's a big difference where some of the stuff you got away before, you won't get away with now. But my big thing is now, I'm engaged to my lovely fiancée,
Congratulations.
Penny Allen.
Congratulations, and she's right here watching us. A couple of quick questions, and we'll let you go enjoy the night. At the end, you became a heavyweight. The heavyweight division's hot again. Talk about what your thoughts on Joshua and Wilder and Fury, now Ruiz. Any thoughts on that?
Nah, the thing about it is, it's, you know, threw a little 8-ball into the thing with Ruiz coming. But the thing about it is, Big Baby Miller's going to be coming back.
Yeah,
He's going to be down
here this weekend. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, he had his little mishaps that messed up, so I know that's all in his mind, like that could have been my title.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, you know, long time ago, when Anthony Joshua, when him and Deontay Wilder, they kept talking. And they kept saying, prolong the fight, kept going. But once a fighter tells me, I need a couple of more fights before I take on you, oh, that means you already worried about taking. You don't think you're ready yet. You don't think you're ready to beat me. But you talking all this smack when I say let's fight. Let's say, well, I get a couple of more fights under my belt, get a little bit more experience, then I'm going to come in. Like, no. So telling me that you're not ready for me. And it's just proven with Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua might not be the most skilled boxer around, but if he hits you, it's a different story.
So, who do you think right now is the best out of those guys?
I would probably say, you know, Wilder. No, I thought Joshua had some skill, but Wilder, he's learning. He's still learning, and one of his biggest fights that he learned and got learned stuff was when he fought Luis Ortiz. Now, Luis Ortiz is someone still to be reckoned with. I'm
rematch. Yeah.
I'm surprised that Wilder took that fight.
The rematch.
The rematch. And that just shows his confidence level, his ability. And he's a real fighter. He don't care who you are. He knows he's the best, and he want to still prove it. Now, because Luis Ortiz is a very dangerous fight for anybody. And I used to say all these fighters will not be able to deal with fighting us in our 90s, in our days. But Ortiz could have fought back then.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love when, I mean, not just you, no matter who you talk to, their era is the best. Wilder would have been like the 7th or 10th best heavyweight in your era, right?
But back then, every fight was a good fight.
Guess last question. Any other boxing thing like Pacquiao or any of those guys still? Spence and Crawford and Lomachenko, those guys?
Lomachenko, he's very good. I'm gonna just definitely say that his skill level and everything. But Spence and Crawford, that's something exciting to see.
Well, Al, they're calling for you in there. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. The former champion of the world, Ice Cole, Al Cole. Thank you for a few minutes. Enjoy the weekend.
We're looking forward.
Thank you.
Peace.
Here you have it. Alfred Ice Cole, the former cruiserweight champion of the world. Joining us here in Atlantic City. Got some people on here. Osnell Charles. Who do I think is going to win between Pacquiao and Thurman? I actually like Pacquiao in the fight. I don't know what anyone else thinks. John Lennox joining us. John, former heavyweight from New Jersey. Dave Schaller. Good man. I love the pick last night, Dave. Great pick. I watched that kid play for a couple years from Washington, but that's another show for another day. So we'll be back. We'll be getting a few more people and dignitaries here. We've had Tim Witherspoon, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Henry Haskup, the president of the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame, who's now a member of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and Al Cole, the former cruiserweight champion of the world. So we will be back in a couple minutes with another guest. We are back here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, Mark Abrams. And the mayor of Atlantic City is now holding court down there. So all the dignitaries, they are entrenched in his speech. So I was told in a few minutes I'll have access to pretty much anyone I need to speak with. So we will speak with them in just a few minutes. Walk around there and sit in that chair. We are back with boxing manager, now Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Famer, Stan Hoffman. Stan, how you doing?
I'm doing good for an old man.
So, getting inducted into a Hall of Fame this weekend. What are your thoughts? The Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I know you had many fighters fight here, world champions and whatnot. Talk about your time at Atlantic City as a manager.
Well, first of all, my first fights as a manager started in early 1980, right here at the Tropicana Hotel. And it's now, what, about 38 years?
39 years.
39 years. And someone asked me, have you been here before? I said, I probably put the bricks up on the, am I getting through?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. On some of the hotels here. Yeah, I love it here. I haven't been here in a few years, but it's really fun.
If I say to you, what are your any fond boxing memories? What are your fondest moments? Is there a fight or two that stand out where your guy may have won or even lost? Or
So many here. I know when I get back to my room, I'm going to think of 30 of them. All I know is Atlantic City was my lucky charm. You know, I mean, I developed 38 world champions from there.
you can tell the fans out there a few of them. I know Hasim Rahman, William Joppi, come right off the top of the head. Who else?
Virgilio Tour, Jesus Salud, oh my God, it's terrible. But many of them came out. Joe Manley, who was my first world champion and my first fighter that I signed. Mm-hmm. And we came out of here. I put him in an apartment here with James Broad, and there was history.
James Broad, that guy from Philadelphia. 1980 Olympian, the team that never went to Moscow.
No, they didn't go, and that's why I was able to sign them, because they were loose ends. Nobody wanted them. And I don't know why, they were both champions.
Yeah, none of the perceived big guys. And,
That's right. So they put me in the boxing business.
What you still watching the fights today?
You can't keep me away. I live, in Manhattan.
Yes.
And, of course, up where my boxing camp is in the country.
Well, who are you
In the
working with
Catskills.
now?
Nobody.
No one?
I can't do it anymore.
That's it?
I have the camp. I think I'm going to sell the property. It's been like 38 years, 39 years I've been doing it. But the Barclays Center has been very kind to me. And whenever there's a fight, they ask me to attend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's easy for me because I live on 58th Street, Manhattan.
Yeah.
I'm 20 minutes away, so I stay up with it.
You had the heavyweight champion of the world, Hasim Rahman, with the big punch in South Africa. Something like that happened about a few weeks ago with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua.
Holy mackerel.
That seems to be a lot of the questions about the heavyweight division now. What are your thoughts on the big guys with Joshua and Fury and Wilder and now Ruiz?
Well, listen, far be it from me to ever say a guy isn't as good as another guy.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, I don't believe in that. Does he have a chance? Everybody has a chance. Look at me. I remember when I ran Barkley, lost to Sambu Kalame. He wasn't even my fight. I just knew him in New York. And he came back to New York, and he called me because I was around, the gyms. And he said, "Can I come visit you?" Sure. Came up, sat on my couch, and said, "Bob Arum tore up my contract. Told me to go get a job as a beer salesman. What do I do?" I said, "I'll tell you what, Iran." Because I love him. I love him to this day. He's like a son.
And we'll get into him in a second.
Yes. So I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I promise you, in 4 fights, you will fight for the middleweight championship." I didn't know. I was telling the truth. I thought I could do it.
You mean a manager spewed some bullshit out?
No.
That doesn't happen in
No,
boxing.
not at all. Not at all. No, but I was hoping.
Yeah.
And we got the Tommy Hearns fight. And not only did he knock him out, he's the only fighter. I don't know if people even think about this. He is the only fighter to fight Tommy Hearns for a world title and beat him by points.
Yes. Because he was
This club fighter. I've had some lucky. Emmanuel Stewart called me when I signed the fight with Lennox Lewis, with Hasim. He said, "Stan, you're my friend. I got to tell you, I'm glad you're taking the fight." He gave me another win, and, maybe you'll make a few bucks. After that fight, the story.
So your two biggest, probably two of, I don't know if they were your two biggest, but the Rockland fight and the Barkley Hearns fight beat Emmanuel Stewart.
Emmanuel hated me. No, he didn't. But we used to kid each other. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
What were you going to tell me about Iran?
Well, he's getting in this weekend.
Of course.
What's it mean to you, a guy so close to you? You're sharing the spotlight with
A
him.
great deal. And I've shared this. Ricky Mars, I don't know if you're familiar with Ricky. He's here. He's not here. He's a cop in Las Vegas. But he was one of my fighters. He's in the Hall of Fame here. You got Iran going in. I know there must be somebody. My fighters are now being appreciated, and I'm thrilled to death.
Well, Stan, congratulations. I always kid you. I don't know if you remember, but I met you. My father was in the record business.
I
with you.
remember that. We talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Here's a question. The record business and the boxing business, a lot of similarities, a lot of differences? Or
Same thing.
Same thing?
You got to get in the top 10. You got to know the right people. And you got to be very, very lucky.
You know what? That sounds about right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
And, enjoy this weekend. I know you haven't been down for any of these weekends yet, but it's a tremendous
No,
weekend.
it's been very tough.
And, but you'll enjoy this weekend.
I'm enjoying it now. Seeing people like Bobby Goodman. I haven't seen Bobby Goodman since I used to fight with him every week for just give me a 4-rounder, for God's sake.
When you had a lot of fighters with Don King, and he was running the show there. But
I'll tell you, Don was another one who was very. I know you got to go, but
no,
Don,
we could be here all night.
all night.
Yeah.
Get him a chair. Don was incredibly good to me, and people say to me, "Do you know that Don King is he really?" That man helped me so much. He didn't set out to help me, but he was so really good to me.
You had 2 world champions at the same time.
At the same time.
with Rockman and Joppy.
And William, yeah. I mean,
and then you see Bernard here, who ruined a night or two for you, I'm sure.
didn't help.
It didn't help. But yeah, that was a great time. A lot of people kept talking about that fight with Rockman, just comparing it to the Ruiz Joshua fight. So everything's good. The heavyweight division's back in business. So.
It's going to come alive, and as long as they're basically on the same level, you're going to see some terrific fights.
Yep.
And the thing that happened was unfortunate for one and very good for the other, but it was good for boxing because people see, wow, this underdog really, in boxing, he can make it. Used to work with his brother, Lavender Johnson.
Lavender Johnson's brother, who works here at the Claridge Hotel. Well, Stan, thank you for a few minutes.
Again, thanks.
Have a great weekend, and
you.
congratulations, much deserved.
You're a dog.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good interview. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can remember some of the people that I had.
I'll interview again.
I'll go
this
back to the
weekend.
room and I'll go, hey, wait a minute, how about John David Jackson? How about Jesus Saloon? I start thinking now. Okay, thank you.
Everybody walk by, please.
Are you on live stream?
Yep, we're live streaming. We are back here with the WBC super middleweight champion of the world, Franchon Zern, Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. You kicked it off in good fashion last night.
Yes, I said I had to set the tone. It's an amazing weekend. Legendary fighters, people aspire to be like. So I just wanted to make my mark as a boxer and as a female boxer.
Fighting in Atlantic City is a dream for everybody. It's either Atlantic City, it was Atlantic City, hopefully it's going to be Atlantic City again, or Vegas or New York. And you fought in Vegas. You made your pro debut in Vegas with Clarissa Shields, and now you check Atlantic City off the box.
Yeah, I mean, my professional career is very new, but I've accomplished some great things. And yeah, New York is like one place I do want to fight because I'm an East Coast girl, but I've been blessed to fight like Vegas, Atlantic City now, and I'm learning the rich heritage here also.
Fighting, obviously a lot of the Hall of Famers who are here were there last night, and they were in the crowd. What's it mean you to not only win, you scored a knockout in front of some of the legends of the game?
So Bernard Hopkins is a true inspiration, and I've got to talk to him when I fought on Golden Boy card back in September for my title, and now we work together. And I said, look, he's a dog from the bottom, so I know he's a real one. Mm-hmm. So I really want to get his respect, and just my other peers too. But to have the knockdown in front of all my peers, that meant a lot because I haven't been in the ring, so I do have ring rust. And I shout out my opponent because she was pretty tough.
She came out shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, but hey, I'm a bigger dog with a bigger bite. Don't underestimate anyone, but much respect to her because she probably wouldn't have gotten an opportunity like this any other time.
You mentioned working with Bernard Hopkins, Golden Boy Promotions. What's it mean you, as a female fighter, be signed by one of the big promotional companies?
Oh man, I'm just so flabbergasted because, like, not only being a bigger weight, I'm an African American fighter, and Golden Boy, Oscar started his company to promote Hispanic and brown fighters, and just for them to take interest in me means a lot. And they have a great platform. I mean, they promote one of the biggest fighters in the world, Canelo Alvarez, and I mean, who knows? I could be the female Big Mama Alvarez.
You opened up your career on the Kovalev Ward card, if I'm not mistaken, with Clarissa.
Yeah.
And like I said, you fought in Vegas against Clarissa. You fought in, and you all within 5 fights, you become a world champion.
Yeah, I mean, like my whole thing, and then not only fought in Vegas against Clarissa, I'm part of history with her by designing her outfit for her undisputed boxing match recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made her outfit the Ali-inspired GOAT outfit. So, I mean, 5 fights or 6 fights, a lot has happened.
So there's no, I mean, obviously, I know you guys fought in the amateurs and you fought as professionals. there's no like, it means a rivalry, but you guys are cool.
Yeah, we always talk. I mean, our legacies are intertwined. Like I always tell, our legacies will always be intertwined because before she came, I was like the big dog on campus, and I'm still a big dog. But you know, we could have other big dogs, and now since we're growing together in the pro, we're both experiencing this at the same time. Hers is at a larger magnitude, mine is getting there. So when we meet again, we'll be two different type of women, and we can really close the book on our story.
Well, beside Clarissa, who at 168, I don't know if you go up, you go down. Who's out? Who's the big fight for Franchon Cruz Dezern if it's not Clarissa again?
Well, like I said, Clarissa is going to be a legacy fight. Like I want to be an undisputed champion too to fight her. I want Alicia Napoleon because she's babysitting a belt that she doesn't want to defend. There's a girl from Mexico that keeps barking up this tree, and she keeps barking up this tree. So I'm gonna give her what she wants. I'm not gonna give her her name because she doesn't deserve it.
Now you have to make me look it up and all
Yeah,
that.
she doesn't have anything for me right now. My goal is to get titles and to move forward, and then they can come. I'll pick and choose.
So, yeah, I usually write stories off some of my interviews. So there's going to be Franchon, mine calls out Alicia Napoleon.
Yeah,
is
call her
babysitting-
out.
and
She's babysitting.
And she's babysitting the title. That could be your way to New York City.
Yeah,
Would you
make
fight
it
her in New York?
Yeah, Lou DiBella's a cool guy. Like I've spoke to him on numerous occasions. You know, her manager, I know him, but first
Brian.
first it was, oh, you don't have anything to bring to the table. I'm the world champion. I got one of the biggest promoters in the country and the world behind me. So what are you talking about? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
So that would be a big fight. That would be a real big fight.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's get back to this weekend. What are you guys? You gonna hang around for the weekend?
Yeah, of course. I'm
What are you the most looking forward to? You look forward to meeting any of these stars? Or?
Yeah, as you know, my husband Glenn Dezern Jr. is a boxing fanatic. Not only is he a great professional fighter,
Absolutely.
he does his history. He loves boxing. He loves the art, and I'm just looking forward to learning more. You know, him enjoying himself, and of course, seeing the inductees be inducted.
Roberto Duran.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And we just mentioned Bernard. And
Yes,
Micky
like-
Ward. Some of the other guys. It's you know.
You don't understand. Like for me, like weighing in and seeing people that I watched on TV ringside and speak of me, giving me honest critique, and also giving me praise. Like that's a dream come true. I'm so humbled.
Well, anything else you want to get out there? I mean, you've talked about your career. You've called someone out. You're saying it out this weekend.
Yeah,
In fact,
just continue to support the movement, women's boxing. Support me, new kid on the block, but I've been in the game, and I'll be watching out. My husband should be coming back soon.
you were supposed to fight tonight, wasn't you?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
But God is going to open some doors for him. He's a free agent. So he's just, whatever's next for him, that's what we're going to do.
Well, Franchon, you kicked the weekend off in grand fashion last night. There.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a
Oh,
pleasure.
thank you very
always
much.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got it. Let me go down here.
Thank you. He has a red boxing glove.
Tell him to make it continue.
That's a lot to remember. Can you make it continue?
We are back here at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. We're now going to be joined by super middleweight contender, New Jersey bred guys fought on the boardwalk, I don't know, what, about 10, 12, 14 times at least, something like that.
Yeah.
Derek Webster. Derek, what's happening?
I can't complain, man. I'm just happy to be at the Hall of Fame again.
You've been here, I think, every year. I think you've been all three years. What are your thoughts as you come to the weekend and you see some of the legends of the game?
Well, it's a real good thing. It's a beautiful thing, actually. To see the guys share their stories and their experience, in which helped us get to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a disappointing factor is, where's our generation of boxers at? It was the same way last year. Where's the guys to show appreciation to the people
Your
that
contemporaries,
was there?
yeah.
You know what I mean? These guys paved the way for us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only it's only right, for us to be here to show support for these guys. And to soak in some of the information that they have for us.
I just saw you and Bernard having a little
Bernard.
conversation.
But I had a chance to really sit down and talk to Micky Ward, And you know, he's one of the fighters that I watch before all of my fights. So to actually sit down and see that these guys can actually give you some insight and they take the time out for you, it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's kind of disappointing when you look around and you see that you're pretty much almost the only fighter of today that's here showing respect.
Well, hopefully, maybe a couple guys throughout the weekend may show up. I know they're supposed to have an
It would be
autograph
nice.
thing tomorrow. I know a lot of the active fighters have been invited. So we'll see. We'll see who shows up.
It would definitely be nice. I mean, but it started today.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? When will you see your next move?
Well, I mean, of course, I've been at Greg Cohen every day, like trying to get him to get a fight. Greg's going to be Greg. You know, but,
I love you, Greg.
Yeah, that's my man. I got something on the table right now with for Rising Stars. I think it's for August 21st.
Okay.
I believe I'm headlining that card. I'm just letting him get through his card that he has coming up, and then we'll talk about that. But I've had offers, a few other offers around town, but I'm trying to see what Greg has for me.
Super middleweight division. It's a little bit in flux. Benavidez, Darrell. I mean, you still feel like you're a fight or two away from one of those guys?
I mean, I feel like I'm right there. It's just the moment. It's just really at the hand of who's actually gonna make the right move for me.
Boxing at Atlantic City. We're here to celebrate Atlantic City weekend. We joked around. You fought here a bunch of times.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, like you mentioned Rising Star, and they had the fight last night. You know, Top Rank was here last year. Do you feel that the vibe's coming back a little bit in terms of boxing?
I think they're doing a good job at trying to bring it back. Everybody's coming out to see the fights. I just think that people respond to productivity. So the more they keep producing, I think we have a good chance of bringing it back.
We'll jump around and ask some random boxing questions. A lot of people are asking. I'm asking all the guests. Heavyweight division now, it's a pretty fun place to be. What are your thoughts on what's going on up there?
I mean, Wilder's handling business. I'm not really a fan. But I'm not really a fan. I mean, like when you watch guys like Evander Holyfield and the Lennox Lewis's and Mike Tyson's, it's like it's a different caliber of fighters, but you still can't take away from what anyone's doing. I would love to see the Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight.
Even after Joshua lost?
There's a lot of talk about that fight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about that fight. But I mean, like I said again, me as a fighter, I mean, I like to see anybody that gets in there and put their life on the line and get in there and do what they do.
All right. Anything else you want to get out there? Anything you want to plug? Any social media or?
I mean, pretty much everybody knows who I am. I mean, my social medias remain the same. Derek Webster. That's just pretty much it. But I mean, like, just continue to support any fighter, all fighters, up and coming fighters. Support anybody that's willing to get in that ring and put on the show.
Well, as many times as you fought on the boardwalk here, I'm sure at some point we, maybe having you in one of these classes.
Yeah.
But you have a lot more stuff to do, so that could be years and years down the line.
I still got a lot more. So
Let me ask you, does something like that inspire you a little bit, knowing that, I've done a few things here in Atlantic City, and maybe someday down the road that they'll recognize me. Does that ever cross your mind?
It does, especially when you're actually here to see, what's going on before your eyes. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel as though that I'm doing enough, not just in boxing, but for the community
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I know you get involved with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You see that on social media.
And I just always choose, like, instead of my kids just seeing everything I did in boxing, I also want them to take what I did in boxing and see what I did for the community, for other kids and for other families, things of that nature. But those things last a little bit longer.
Well, we'll see you soon, maybe in August.
Maybe in August,
Possible
we'll see.
breaking news. We'll see. Possible. So maybe in August we'll see you back. If not, I'm sure shortly thereafter. And Greg, get on the phone. He said, get on the phone. Get him a fight.
Let's get it going.
Thanks, Derek. Always an honor. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. We'll be back with another guest in just a moment.
Tuvo Sinatra. Tuvo Sinatra. Bueno, aquí tuvo Sinatra y no se cae. Vaya la matilla. Aquí yo me puedo morir, hermano.
This right here. Hey, mandando loco. Hey, so how are you? All good? Fantastic.
Thank you. We are back with one of the legends, one of the Hall of Fame inductees this weekend, Irish Micky Ward. First of all, just seeing you, I mean, I'm good friends with Bernard. He's always in great shape. You're probably right near your fighting weight, aren't you?
I'm a little over, but no, I'm not bad.
Probably close to your walk around weight then. Probably close to that back in the day.
Yeah.
So how's everything going? We'll talk post-retirement. What you been up to?
I work. I do construction. I do asphalt, concrete, everything. Stay busy, you know.
Still dabbling a little bit. I know you train a fighter or two once in a while.
Yeah, I was doing that. I took a little time off from doing that, but I may go back to it soon. But I'm working right now, just staying busy, just moving along, keeping going.
The fight scene up in the Northeast, New England's kind of picked up a little bit with what Ken Casey and those guys are doing.
Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, with him, you know, and we got Demetrius Andre, Boo Andre, that's fighting very soon, I believe.
June 29th in Providence.
So, you know, he's keeping boxing going there. Obviously, we had Vinny Paz up there, Tasmanian Devil.
Who was inducted here last year.
Exactly, great man, great guy. I'm happy for him.
What's it mean to you, you get a call that you're coming, you're inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. What were your first thoughts when you got that call?
Oh, it was great, because, like I was saying up there, but I speak on the podium there, I said Atlantic City is like, I fought in Atlantic City for my third fight, like my 13th, I think. Like, I was down here more times than I fought anywhere. Fought here more times than anywhere else, I think. Yeah, I did, actually, from 1986, I believe, until 2003, But from 86 to, like, 87, 88, I fought, like, almost 18 times or 15 times down here.
Well, besides the two Gotti fights, which everyone, remembers most recently, what are your other memories of fighting here? Any particular fight or two that jump out?
Yeah, I remember my first fighting here at the resorts back in 86. And then fighting off the Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, then the Taj Mahal, and for almost every casino down here at the time, pretty much. And just coming down here fighting, like, different types of fighters, like, from up in New England. You have, like, you might fight a good Philly fighter. They ain't get the best record, but, man, they fucking tough. Mm-hmm. They can fight. They're in the gyms all the time. They have wars in the gyms.
Yeah.
And you got to respect that. And they're tough. They ain't got the best record, but if they were fighting anywhere else, it'd be undefeated,
Yeah.
And that's how I was brought up, fighting tough fights. And then that's what made me, like, get so, like, mentally strong, mentally tough by fighting such tough fighters. Not the greatest fighters, but tough fighters.
Boxing today, you still watching, still keeping an eye?
Yeah, I'm still watching. I don't watch every fight that there is, you know what I mean? But I'll buy the big fights and stuff like that. Fights that I'm interested in or interested in seeing,
A lot of people have been commenting here in the post about the heavyweight division. It's with Joshua now losing, Ruiz and Wilder and Fury. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Fury looks good. I think he looks the man to beat, actually.
It's amazing, right?
Deontay Wilder is believe me, is
you don't want to get hit by him.
No, hell no. Him and Wilder are the two best. I mean, Wilder and Fury, they have to fight each other again, you know what I mean? And settle things. But Deontay Wilder is still, obviously, the number one. And, he's still the number one. Fury's right there, too. He looks better now than he ever did. I'd love to see that again.
What about you following Spence and Crawford and those kind of guys?
That's another guy. Errol Spence is one of the best fighters there is. That kid can fight. Crawford can fight. It's just great. It's great because they're in the same weight. So there's great matchups coming up, and that's what keeps boxing, like, people intrigued. Mm-hmm. Waiting for big fights to come up, so that keeps people involved in the sport and stuff like that. So I think boxing's at a good place in there.
But you, because a fighter like you, I mean, you are known to us guys in the media as just, where's the fight, how much I'll be there.
Yeah.
Now there's so much negotiating and politicking. Yeah. To a guy like you, I don't want to use the word insulted, but there's kind of like, come on, man. Just get in there.
That's the thing about it. There's so much money involved. They want to wait and wait. Just take what you can get and fight. It's all, well, obviously, money's a big thing, but, and you can't, when you're done fighting, you can't walk into the store with a WBA belt and say, give me milk. No, you got to have the money. So I can see that,
Anything else? You on social media at all? You do
anything? No, I don't even, I don't. My daughter does it, you know what I mean? I don't. I got a cell phone.
Well, welcome to 2019.
No, I know. I'm not that far behind, but I'm not into all that. So.
Well, it's an honor for you to get in. I mean,
thank you.
Long overdue, and obviously you and Arturo are always going to be attached at the hip, and now you're brothers in the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And how much that mean to you that you will again, in terms of the boxing sense, your plaque will be with his in this Hall of Fame here.
It's great. It's great. It's great to be in here with my dancing partner per se. You know what I mean? So it's special. That makes it even more special.
Well, thank you for giving just so much entertainment to all the fans all over the world.
Thank you.
A warrior, and this is much deserved. And thank you for a few
Thank you
minutes.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Irish Micky Ward, thank you, and enjoy the weekend. Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye. Thank you, bud.
Again, thank you.
You got it.
He's actually got to work. Yeah. You are? Oh, yeah. So now people do that. I regulate the system. If I'm not, you know, somebody sent me here. You know what I was thinking. I'm stuck, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm stuck. Now I'll be stuck with what I'm doing. That's my security right here. I got a problem. Set me up. I'm off tonight. Hey, yo, so what you getting into? I don't know. Hey, listen. What's going on? You gotta talk to me, man. Text me number. You gonna get into something.